think a really big misconception is that it's industry, that climate change is caused by industrial emissions. And I think, most people don't realize that in Canada, at least more than half of the emissions come from small sources, homes and individual vehicles and buildings.
I think one of the most important ones to me is this idea that the energy transition is first and mostly a technological problem.
I think a common misconception is that environmental politics matters to how people vote. I'm not sure that there's a lot of evidence that suggests that actually the environment is a primary issue that actually leads to shifts in voting for most voters.
I think a common misperception is that there are good guys and bad guys. Well, actually, in some cases, there are good guys and bad guys, but in many other cases, it's much more complex than that.
And I think I wish there was a broader awareness about the political role of industries, interest groups, citizens, politics, political parties in the energy transition.
I think the misconception is that many of the environmental activists, especially ones who are active in social media, live in big cities, are predominantly affluent. So the common person thinks that environmentalism is actually a fad, a pastime of the rich people, and it's really not helping the masses.
Especially young people, I think, are confused sometimes when they pay attention to the news that the number of problems we face is overwhelming and that we can't disentangle them or do anything about it.
Less developed countries, now they are still facing the key issue about economic development, but now we are putting more effort towards asking them also need to pay more attention to the environmental. Then makes it a more increasing tension between how we can keep the balance between the environmental protection as well as the economic activity.
So there's this tendency to be resistant to change because I think people want to blame someone else. They want to blame the big industrial polluters who we've historically thought of as the cause of environmental problems, and that's historically been accurate, but I don't think it is anymore.
I think the job of our profession is to try and help students and the public understand how to make sense and create patterns of agency to understand where they can have an impact and how we can move forward. The path is not a wide one to move forward with, say, climate change. It's a narrow path, but we can traverse it, and we have to help people learn how to cope with the tremendous amount of information.